stop for lunch.
Oh, can we?
I don't know what. Well, it should be.
There should be a lunch stop.
Right, where is it? Mille Miglia 2023. Now this is the video you've been waiting for. So everything starts at the Brexia Forum, which is a wonderful building, awe-inspiring, cantilevered roof. It really is something. You see what I mean? Look at that roof. Look at the cars. There's a huge place. It's like the world's best car show. You know, a bit like, you know, when you go to the Revival car park and you see so many different things. Well, this is that, but yeah, on steroids, for want of a better description. It's wonderful. But you know, then you have funny little things like this one, which I think might be a Lloyd. I don't know. I don't actually know what that is. Città, and so on. You know, Healy, various things. But yeah, this was quite something. It was difficult to concentrate actually on what we're supposed to be doing, which is applying our stickers to the car. So we got signed on. You go through a rigmarole of that, you get your official photograph taken, then they produce you lanyards and so on. Mind you, that's got your photo from your driving licence, UK driving licence on it. But those photos that you're having done are for the start and the finish ramps, that type of thing. So yeah, there you go. I'm putting the stickers on. You can see I've already got my lanyard on. I'm trying to look like I'm supposed to be there. and trying not to get bubbles in the stickers. And yeah. This is one of my favourites, I think. You see what I mean? What a lovely little thing that is. Never seen one before. So that's an Emerne. A friend of mine actually, he knows somebody that owns the rights to that now. You see it's from Japan? It's shipped over from Japan. People ship cars from all around the world for this. When I say ship, I think normally they're air freighted. There's a Città, so yeah, that's another favourite of mine, again, from Japan. So yeah, these were a cool crew. You'll see later what I mean when we're at the Mille Miglia Museum. You'll see what I mean about these lot. Now the interesting thing about Città is that's what Arbath effectively came out of the ruins of that business. They bought them up, they asked chassis and did them, and started them up in Argentina. Now here we have a Fiat. This has the Otto Vu V8. Fiat's little jewel of a V8 engine, 2 litre. It might even be 1500, I can't remember, but yeah, lovely things. Steve McQueen had one of these. They're you know, very, very attractive little car. Anything to do with that, the Otto Vu, which means 8V, because they thought that Ford had the rights to V8, so they did it the other way around. You see what I mean? This sort of stuff. I mean, what a jewel. Lovely little thing. Tiny though. You know, you'd be a bit of a squeeze in that one. And plus, you can't get out the weather. But yeah, look at that sort of double stacked air intake thing. Yeah, it's quite something, isn't it? I'm not sure about the headlights. It doesn't make it look a bit strange and funny little lights. Almost doesn't want lights on it really, or something in the grille maybe. I'd have had them down inside the grille maybe, or I don't know, sort of pontoons on them or something different. But anyway, I don't know. I don't know enough about this one. It might be that's the way they are. Well, it might be they had to add them on. Yeah, another 1900 like ours. And there's us. And there he is, trying to stick him on. Little Renaissance 4CV, got a bit of a soft spot for them. Città again. That's Zeiss again. And there you see the Città, how they put it on the script on it. Look at that, that's lovely, isn't it? Now this is the Sportiva Coupe 1954, Franco Scaglione for Bertone designed this. Now this is from the Alfa Romeo factory, so I was quite shocked to see it out, and I wasn't quite sure if it'd actually be competing, but it was. So more on that later. But yeah, apparently they only made 2 of these in coupe form, and apparently 2 Spiders, but the coupe I think is the better looking. And if you want to know all about this one, I'd suggest you look on Roads to Life on YouTube. You should be subscribed to him anyway if you're watching me, because he's he's more of this sort of stuff. Although not workshop, it's more about the actual designs and the realities of what went into the not construction, that's not the word, the design and the theories and behind them, that type of thing. It's more engineering to do with the design than it is about actual workshop. Another Città. Now see these things with the sort of numbers on, you see the painted on numbers that have been crossed out. Now I think that alludes to when it originally did it, back during the original Mille Miglia, not the sort of reenactment, which is what we're doing. And then of course it's got its 154 is its actual number for the event we're on, and 449 must have been a period number. Now so with that all out of the way, our signing on, we now move into sort of getting things done proper. So we've signed on the day before, and now we're queuing up from the Brexit Forum. So we went home for the night, the hotel, and came back in the morning and queue up here, and they gave us a time. And this is for us to drive into Piazza Vittoria in the middle of Brescia, where they've got all the red carpet out, and it's all very posh, and it's this amazing sort of Mussolini era piazza. It's quite stunning to see, and you see we keep good company. We drove in with that. So you're all queuing up here ready to go, and what we're doing is we're going for the sealing ceremony, which you'll see is where they put the lead seals on it. So it's a bit of a performance. It's not really serves any purpose other than just a sort of can't think of words. But it's like a ceremony. It's not really necessary. But back in the day, this would be the scrutineers would use these lock wire and lead seals to seal the engine to make sure you didn't tamper with it or change it or do anything. And they'd also do it to the fuel tanks, so you couldn't adulterate the fuel or adulterate someone else's fuel. Now I'm not sure on endurance races if they'd have to redo this every time it's filled up. I don't know about that, or if it was just for the sort of short circuit races. But that's where it comes from, the sort of the lineage of that practice, and now it's just a sort of piece of performance really, and purely symbolic, but quite cool to have it done. And of course this car's got loads of them on because it's done it 19 times before, and now we'll have to wait and see if it's done it 20 times. You have to keep watching, wouldn't you? So we're processing in from the Brexit Forum with the police escort, and this all seemed very, very exciting, having a police escort and so on. Now little did we know the excitement to come, the enormity of having police escorts that came later. Anyway, you'll have to keep watching for that. But yeah, we're sort of quite G'd up at this stage, and this is only the sealing ceremony. This isn't the race proper. It hasn't started yet. This is just all the sort of what goes before. But the reason we went there on the Sunday was that if you try and do all this on the Monday, it does get a bit fraught. So we were told, be there Sunday, do your signing on, scrutineering, stickers, all that then, and then all you've got to do is the sealing ceremony, so you can sort of relax into it. Which is a good job we followed Joe's advice, who was advising us on that, because we needed the extra time, as you'll see. So as it's not actual race day, there's people milling around, but it's not quite the excitement that will come.
We are here.
So you can see this sort of, what they call fascist era architecture, because it was Mussolini's drive to build all this stuff in the sort of 30s onwards, I think. But a lot of people don't like it because of the connotations of that. But if you separate that from it, some of this architecture is actually quite, it's quite something to behold, and I secretly quite like some of it. And obviously I don't like what it stands for, but you know, that's that thing of separating art from the artist. Although he wasn't an artist, you know what I mean. Maybe not the right terminology there. But yeah, you can see we're sort of coming into this area now where this sort of red carpet area, and you've got this sort of corporate hospitality around, and it's all that sort of, you know, sort of stuff that goes with it. And, you know, yeah. Although you did get free coffee and some very nice brioche for free, so I can't knock it. But yeah, you see the building behind. That was a sort of like a telegram and telephone exchange. So you know, all very cutting edge, all like the latest thing. You know, we've got telephones. Whereas today it just does seem, you know, what was all the fuss about? But you know, they did. They made this. You know, they built this architecture around this, forward thinking. I don't think it's really futurism. That's a different sort of art form. But anyway, wobble on about that. But yeah, you see, that's quite stunning, isn't it? Jock Mass. Well, he would be in a Mercedes, wouldn't he? Do that Ferrari, lovely. One of them Ciata things. And this is Renault 4CV base, that's cute, isn't it? Here's my driver. Here's the seals going on. As I say, this is an important thing. You have to sign up to all this stuff and get into it. There they are, look, you see? All a bit of nonsense, but you know, isn't it all this performance, isn't it? And this sort of stuff. That's lovely, isn't it? That lovely aubergine colour. Yeah, I think that's all right. Look at the flowers. It's pretty, isn't it? Oh, there we are. More pink. Like little cerise. Yeah, so that's the statue in the square. And then, yeah. Now we get into the problems. So we've left there only to have problems with the charging system yet again. So through a process we ended up at this auto electrician's, and look at it. I was as excited about this as I've been anything. I was even more, this to me is more my thing. And look at that, testing. That is quite a machine, isn't it? You know, I've already people in that lovely teal colour. And people have already been ribbing me about, did you try and buy it off them? I didn't, but you know, I wouldn't half mind taking that over. Yeah, I get more excited about stuff like that than all the posh stuff. Another important part is to go in the evening, once your charging system's fixed, to the blessing of the cars. And here's the Padre himself. And he's having the service, they've had mass, they've come out, and now we'll go and bless the cars. And you'll notice that the cars here all finished. And maybe that's some divine intervention. But yeah, to ignore this would be to ignore your own personal safety, wouldn't it? There he goes, you see? Blessing us and the cars. So yeah, I think you to avoid, to miss this is to your own cost. Important thing. Now people are starting up, having a rest and sort of going back to the hotels and so on. And some people actually arrived after this, well, I don't know why they were late, but and would park up there for the evening, I think. Probably because they had a hotel near to there. I don't know. Or maybe because they wanted the car to be nearer the start in the morning.
Yeah, that's a Renault Alpine, so that's a Renault 4CV with a different body on it. So it's very cute. We used a Renault 4CV I restored. We used it as a wedding car, so obviously that's the more normal saloon we did. This is a, he's going the other way now. Going that way now.
Something about those yellow lamps in there on the French cars. Very evocative. So look at this glorious thing.
Just thought I wanted to get a decent bit of footage of it, which I've now got.
So the numbers relate to the order you leave in. obviously car number one's car number one. Car number 450 is going to be the last car to leave. So it can be quite a difference. It can be a good 2 hours difference between the early cars and the late cars starting. But the early stuff's normally the early, the stuff that was made earlier, like the 30s cars. Although they are very competitive and some of them are very fast. Bugattis and alfaromeos and so on. Yeah, can you hear that little V8? See what I mean? Absolute jewel of a thing. There's something about low capacity V8s, they do sound good. Or low displacement, should I say, rather than capacity. Very same thing, isn't it? But anyway, lovely little things. But this is all very cool to see these things moving around and then be up close to them. Nice for the public to get amongst it, it's you're not removed from everything. And yeah, people get into the spirit of it. They really like this. Particularly in Brescia, it's a big deal. But there's our car. It's Vespa. Yeah, 1,000 miles on a Vespa, that would be something to talk about, wouldn't it?
Probably they're parking up here for the night.
Ah, Nadino, an interloper. Too modern for the event, but worth a picture, eh? But you see what I mean. It's just remarkable, isn't it? There's a Maserati. You see, people get in the spirit of it. He's actually got wooden wheels on that one. And this is a slightly more modern bike, but yeah, still something. It's early, 11 o'clock, go up to the Mille Miglia Museum, which is worth a visit on its own. I would highly recommend that when you get an opportunity. And here's our Japanese friends, you see. I do like this one. That little pinched swage line. It's really something, isn't it? And the egg crate grill. I think that's very pretty. Yeah, do you see them in their gear? See, in their traditional dress? I thought that's really quite something. I guess they're kimonos, but I don't know, in my ignorance, But yeah, it does look very cool. So here's the museum. That glass area has a lot of cars in it normally, but obviously it wasn't open on, enough going on. They're just buzzed down the start line, and the colours of the Italian flag in smoke trail behind them. And of course they're returning, so I only got footage of this. But you look elsewhere, you'll see footage of them going over. See, even all the police dress up accordingly. Now this Ferrari is of note because apparently this was Sterling Moss. The chap who owns this was, we got to know him when we were in at our hotel. Made a big thing about he wanted to have these sheepskin rugs in it. So I still don't quite know why. I think it'd be too hot for that, but he insisted they were just right. Particularly if it rains, he said. They're really good. I don't know about that. Another 1900? That's one of those Samsons, isn't it? Fiat 130. Now that 130 wasn't anything to do with the thing, but it actually drove the whole route. It was a sort of support car. And this guy likes a few badges, doesn't he? Very nice badges. Early Ferrari. Quite sober looking thing actually, that one, but yeah, elegant though. Ah, our Sportiva again. David Niven thing is relevant because he used to live up the road from me in Langton. And yeah, we like David Niven. There we are, look at this. That's just wonderful. Look at that interior. Isn't that lovely? Now this belongs to a Japanese chap who's been sort of touring Italy this year with that car, promoting an event he has in Italy. Sorry, in Japan. And this, yeah, well, you know what that is, don't you? Maserati A6 GCS. Now these were the cars of the event for me, this and the white one. Look at that handbrake. Looks a bit like you're going to drop the bombs, doesn't it? Letting that off. You see this sort of brake cooling cut out? Oh, that's quite something, isn't it? A piece of design, eh? See, ship them all around the world. That one's come from Australia. On Victoria club plates. This was a new one on me, a Lloyd. No, Goliath. Goliath, not a Lloyd. Yeah, so new I couldn't remember it. That's a funny thing, isn't it? I've never seen one of them before. I thought that's quite cool, isn't it? Yeah. Yes. This is where you start getting worried. So you all crew up this great big long road. And they sort of gradually get into number order. What was I saying about Maseratis? You see? There we are. Over the ramps we go. Or rather, over the ramps we're about to go. But yeah, this was the trepidation. This was where it's all going to start, isn't it? You know, I've got to read this map and make sure we don't get lost. Look at them two goons. Look! Dear me. There we are, so we're off. That's it. It started. And the you know, the trepidation and panic and everything, well, I don't know, it's just time to get on with it, isn't it? And yes, it's one of them things, isn't it? I can't actually remember a lot of this because it's just, it was just, yeah, busy, busy, busy. This is pretty much what it's like, you know, every time you go into somewhere or leave somewhere, you got crowds like this, and yeah, no one seems to be waving at the minute. Perhaps they're a bit jaded by now. They might have been stood there 2 hours watching it all come through. Maybe all the fun stuff's already happened. And of course, one of the parts of the Mille Miglia is stopping for fuel, as you'll see. Who's this man in his Milanese taxi? So, you know, you normally have a chat with other people that are doing it and see how they're getting on and so on. This is us queuing up, and there's one of my favourite cars, you see. So I was chatting to these guys, I had a good chat with them. I think this one come from Fiskins, they'd sold it recently. But yeah, isn't that lovely? That really is something. Aston Martin. So this is one of the time trials we're queuing up for. So again, a chance to relax and talk to people. And this is it, park up for the night by the seaside. So that's Cervio Martina Milano is our rest stop. And that's us sort of getting used to the idea, really, of what we're actually signed up for. Now, it was only about 5 hours driving on the first day, or maybe it's more actually, I can't remember now. I'll have to, yeah. It was only about 8 hours driving for the afternoon. We had some very long days to come. Now this is a cute thing, isn't it, with his little checkered roof. It's nothing to do with the event, but he was sort of following the event round, so we'd see him sometimes. I'm not sure if it was just a jolly or if he was, you know, mechanicking or something like that. But yeah, they had some sort of weird motorcycle engine in the back of it. And I have seen this on Instagram, it has appeared. And you know how I like these Fiat 600s and R-Buffs, so there you go. It's another one. So I think it's worthy of inclusion. I know it's nothing to do with the Mille. But this is the sort of stuff that's to do with the Mille. There we are, look at that hotel. Parked up for the evening. And there's the seaside. So I did walk down and got some sand under my feet. And then went to bed. So I guess I'll say good night.